Good evening. My name is Eugénie Ducatel. I am happy to see you, all my fellow teachers, troopers, go-getters, brave people. Oh my gosh, I have no words to describe how much I support you, respect you, feel you with everything that you do every single day. Yes, because I am also a teacher, by the way. Been teaching for 30 years, you guys. I started when I was 22 years old in British Columbia, and that was in French immersion. And then I went off to the universities for about 10 years. So I taught at the University of Waterloo, Laurier, and York U here in Canada. And then I went back to teaching high school in a really cute Catholic French school here in Cambridge, Ontario. And I've been there for 15 years. So my story really quickly is that I experienced professional burnout. In 2018, I walked out on the job. I did. I said to my vice principal, I saw him. I said, I'm going home. Don't bother me. I'm going to go see my doctor. I was actually very depressed and suicidal when that day happened. And that was rock bottom for me, but it was really good in a way. I mean, it's never good, but it was good in the sense that I had to learn to take care of myself because I was putting everyone's needs ahead of mine, and I was always available to help students. And it felt like it was never enough. So I'm one of those people who just gave too much to others and not enough to herself. And so the balance was way out of whack. And so that's what happened to me. But it became a blessing in disguise because my school board supported me in getting better, in getting, the therapy, the help. I was able to take off. So that was in April of 2018, so before the pandemic, no less. So I took May and June and the summer, and I couldn't even think of going to school in September. It was still too raw. So I took September and October, and then I was reintroduced gently in like supervision type roles, less classroom, less marking, less workloads, I guess you could say. So I was eased back into it. And then I decided that this coaching business was interesting because part of my process in getting better was that I had a coach. So I did the therapy, I did a lot of meditation, took care of my physical health, journaling, visioning, you name it. But the coach really helped me. And I thought, this is really cool. I like how it shifts your energy from a place of despair into a place of, ooh, I have control over my life. I can do something good with this. And so practicing gratitude, all of this just kind of came together, and I decided to become a coach. And so I signed up to iPec, which is the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching. And it was such an intense program, but transformative as well, because as I was doing the program to become a coach, I was also doing the work on myself. So it was very powerful. I met incredible people, and this coaching stuff can be applicable in just about everything. And at this point, I have a growing business. I do coach people. I have a web page, etc. And at this point, I'm kind of exploring where I want to go with this. So I've helped, right now I'm helping grade 12 students focus on wellness and academic success. And so I've got those two clients. I've helped young people in transition. So they're like after high school, they don't know what to do with their lives. So I've helped these people as well. I've coached teachers. I've coached women who want to experience more confidence as they date in the world. I've done a wellness workshop in person. And so I'm angling towards more, obviously this is a webinar and it's online, but I would love to do more presentations, interactive, because another one of my things that I do is I'm a drama teacher. So I really like being with people, and I like feeling their energy, and that is fun for me, because one of my values is joy. And if I'm not having fun, well, it's kind of, what's the point, right? So anyways, so coaching and being with people and connecting and growing, all of these things are my values. And so then I decided, you know what, I'm a teacher. I just finished writing my report cards, and we all know what's coming next. And we all know it's parent-teacher interviews. And I thought, oh, you know, if I say the word, nobody really feels that good about it, right? There's this, I don't know if I want to go, like, couldn't I just be sick and it's going to take forever and I'm going to have 30 people waiting in line and I have to spit out this stuff in 5 minutes and it's bloody exhausted. It's exhausting, right? Like, honestly, it is. And who are we kidding? Like, yes, okay, it's good. We're happy when it's done. We're happy when it's done. The next day we're wrecked. And I'm smiling from knowledge, from knowing, and I just validate and honor and acknowledge all that you do, because I know you get up in the morning and you try your damnedest and you give your heart and soul to these beautiful people called our students, despite crazy, crazy situations where, I mean, I don't need to say it all, but you know what I'm saying. That is difficult. There's less and less time. There's more and more issues. And now with the pandemic that has gone by, there's kids that are behind, especially the little people who didn't get their formative years in high school. They don't know how to socialize anymore. It's a bit of a circus, people. And you guys are like juggling 10 balls at the same time. And now you have parent-teacher interviews coming. And at the bottom of your sweet, beautiful, perfect heart, you have this anxiety or this fear of judgment that it doesn't matter what you do, it might just never be enough. So I assure you, by the way, that everything that you do is enough. So I would like to remove that right away. But it's this fear of criticism. It's the fear of that one parent who's going to show up and just demoralize you and make you upset. And it's unfortunate because all of the other parents who are going to see you are going to love you and respect you and appreciate you. And you get gifts at Christmas. Some of you even get LCBO gift cards for a bottle of wine. Lucky you, I want one of those. Anyway, so this webinar today is for you, is for me, is for us. I would love to share some coaching strategies on communication. I would like to teach you about the energy levels where we show up during the day energetically, when we're discouraged, when we're angry, when we see all the opportunities, like a million little myriads of confettis, we're like, oh, anything is possible. How is it that we can be in all these different places and be the same person, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. And you are very familiar with this process because you did it for 2 years online, people. That's correct. So let me just go ahead and start my slideshow. And here we go. More confidence at parent-teacher interviews. Yes, indeed. That's for us. So my name is Eugénie Ducatel. Like I've said, short bio. I already told you all about my life and my burnout and my raison d'être and why I'm here tonight. And here we go. So the goals for this webinar is to release fear, to empower you, my friends and colleagues, teachers, learn strategies to help students and parents, and have more confidence at parent-teacher interviews. So this is what we are told. You call anywhere. You go to the emergency clinic, you go to the doctors, and there's always, or you call, this call may be monitored, or there's places where it says abusive behavior will not be tolerated. And I always feel like maybe we should have a little sign that says, don't be nasty to me. You know, why not, right? Anyways, we don't. So the content of the webinar is I'm going to take you through the energy levels, because knowing is empowering, how to raise your energy levels, exploring fear and releasing it, learning about boundaries, empowering students, freeing teachers, coaching tips for students and parents, and for us too, why not? The famous Aim Smart, students taking into taking action, and just a conclusion with some resources for you. And I am, you can reach me at lifecoaching@eugénieducatel.com. So how do you truly feel about approaching parent-teacher interviews? I just did this webinar in French, so you'll have to be patient with me. So you will say, oh, I feel all stressed out. It doesn't matter what I do. So the first strategy that you do is, you can use scaling. On a scale of 0, how do you feel? 0, I feel like crap, I hate it, to 10, best thing ever. Woo! Where are you at? And scaling questions are fantastic because people don't need to talk. They can just give you a number. So, I mean, for me, even though I have all this coaching experience, I still don't jump with joy at the idea of interviews. I know what I'm doing. So I'm confident in that way. And I know the majority of parents are lovely, but honestly, I'm a 5. I'm not that excited about parent-teacher interviews. I would rather go see a movie. I would rather, So, and then acknowledging and validating you, my dear friends and colleagues and amazing teachers, is that it's perfectly normal that you're not enthusiastic about parent-teacher interviews. I'm validating your emotions around the fact that it is so much energy and preparation, and it is a high anxiety situation because you don't have control over what's going to happen. You do have some control. All right, so scaling is one coaching strategy, acknowledging the fear and validating the why. Those are 3 really easy tips, and I will show you some more of that. So yeah, there's another good scaling question for you. How often do you spend your lunch hours either working or helping students? Scaling questions are great, like I said, because of the numbers, but also because you can put some humor into them. So on a scale of 1, I never enjoy my lunch with my colleagues and chit chat, or 10, I spend every lunch hour in my classroom. What's a staff room? I have my own microwave in my classroom, a porta potty right next to my inflatable mattress in my back shelf, right? So how often do you spend your lunch hours working or helping students? Never. You're always having a good time in the staff room, or you live in your classroom. So some of you may be a 5, some of you a 9. If you're a 10, we need to talk. All right, you guys. So which of the following apply to you? Those are all questions that you can acknowledge and validate. Do you spend your lunch hours? We already said. Do you forget to eat? Do you forget to go to the bathroom, or you hold it in for hours during your school day? Do you feel guilty because you feel you're not doing enough? That's the inner perfectionist, the person who's afraid of being judged or criticized. And so you want to do more to get approval. Those are dangerous places to be. Keep awareness around that. Are you afraid that if your student is not succeeding, it will be your fault? That's that fear, right? Do you bring your work home on weekends, and whether or not you do it, you feel the weight of it? Do you feel like there's just never enough time, people? And are you just afraid of being judged, criticized, that you are not doing your job, that you're not a good teacher, that you are not worth the pay that you make? Don't get upset, people. That's not true, because I know you're worth every golden penny. These people are lucky to have you as teachers. So I'm going to go through the levels of energy so that you can just recognize during the day, you're like, oh, I'm feeling really discouraged right now. I'm at this level. Oh, I'm feeling angry. Ooh, I'm feeling angry. Okay, I'm here. Or, oh, okay, so I want to help someone now. So those are different ways that we experience energy throughout the day in different levels. So I've summarized them here for you. So level 1 is victim. It doesn't matter what I do, it's never enough. And you feel powerless. When I was my burnout year, I felt very much in that mode. Like it didn't matter what I did. I spent every lunch hour in my classroom. I had so much marking to do. I just wanted to crawl under a rock and not come out. Level 2 is antagonistic. You're mad. So now you've gone from passive, not stuck, and being a victim, but now you're getting angry, and there's that energy around that. So it makes me mad. What do they expect so much from me? Don't they know how hard I work? How dare they put blame on me for their kids' shortcomings? So there's the anger there. I'm right, you're wrong. That's level 2. And these 2 levels are called catabolic energy in coaching. It means that they're very draining. If you experience these 2 levels for too long, you are probably depressed, by the way. This is a good sign to know. And it will also it's just a cortisol producing levels of energy, and you will end up being sick in some shape or form. So going there is okay every once in a while. Everybody's allowed to get upset, but not staying there for sure. Level 3, we do a lot of that in teaching people. We tolerate, we rationalize, we make do, we look at the silver lining. This is the first level of anabolic energy, which is positive, creative, and creating energy. Parent-teacher interviews is not my favorite part of teaching, but I'll get through it. I always do. It's not that bad. It's not great. That's level 3, right? As soon as you have those meetings that pop up on you when you teach, you're in level 3. Like, gotta do it. I really don't like it, but whatever. Let's just get it done. Level 4, that's where we teachers thrive. This is why we teach, because we are people, you are people who are caring and selfless and creative, and you want to take care of others and you want to share your magic with others. You love seeing the little light bulb go up in the air and they get a point. You love watching that magic. You love to feel helpful and useful. This is where you swim. This is your happy place. And you love to support your colleagues. This is the level 4 energy. The only thing with level 4 energy is that we, in theory, teachers, are supposed to take care of ourselves. But we spend so much time and energy taking care of others that very often there'll be the students at school, there'll be the colleagues, there'll be the children that were our own children at home, or other responsibilities towards other people in our lives. And we have a tendency to put ourselves last. So when that happens, well, you become exhausted and then you'll drop to level 1. So it's very important at level 4 to be cognizant, to be aware that you really have to be that loving and that caring to yourselves as well. Nurses fall into this category, doctors, police officers, all these people that just go in there to take care of other people. They're also a high level burnout profession, as you know. So level 5 is opportunity. So let me see how, what am I learning? What am I learning? How can I use this? And level 6 is the win-win, which those two are really good for parent-teacher interviews. Well, 4, 5, and 6 are great because 4 is I want to help this parent and I want to help the student, but I also want to help myself in keeping my mental health, right? Level 5 is what's happening here. The mom is talking about something that is happening at home. Ooh, that gives me an idea. And then I'm going to tie this back to a strategy that I would like to try. And level 6 is there's no judgment. We are all one, and I call it the stool, the 3 legs of the stool, and we work together to get something magical happening. So how to raise your energy. So, I'm in my chat now. So I would like to say right off the bat, a little bit acknowledging and validating to you, my lovely colleagues and friends and teachers, is you are already doing every freaking bloody thing you can and then some. So that's something you either need to repeat to yourself 20 times a day and try to breathe the guilt out that you're not doing enough. And just remember that you are doing so much already that asking any more of you or asking any more of yourself is going to be damaging. And parents, yes, there might be the one parent that is a little bit more difficult. I will talk about that person in a few minutes. But the majority of parents, think of it. Think of all the parent-teacher interviews you've had. They usually turn out okay. They're really busy. You're exhausted at the end. But the majority of the parents know you're working hard. Yep, they do. So just remember that, right? So just go through that list. This is what I call the gratitude list, the focusing on the positive list. I'm not saying it's going to make everything perfect, but for sure. Remind yourself, how difficult is it really going to be to go through parent-teacher interviews? Physically exhausting? Absolutely. How many parents are truly nasty? Well, if there's one, I'll tell you what to do with that person. Not yet, but very few, right? Think of all the nice conversations you've had in the past with parents, with your colleagues, about students, about parents. At all cost, avoid negative talk, especially before parent-teacher interviews, because human beings have energy. You can tell when you teach, you look at a kid, they're grouchy, their energy is not there. They're there, they're awake, they want to learn. People have energy. So make sure at all costs, if you come in before the parent-teacher interviews, that your energy is good. So whatever it is that you need to do, go for a walk, go breathe, go walk your dog, have a good time laughing at some jokes, have a good meal, have fun, meditate, do it. And prepare. Of course, preparing for those parent-teacher interviews is also a way of releasing the stress because you have school day, you have the different interviews lined up, you know who's coming. So you can prepare the files, you can prepare strengths and opportunities for progress, and so you can be all nicely set up, right? If you're a new teacher, especially, you don't have to do this alone. If you're feeling scared or intimidated, definitely ask for support. You know, a principal, a vice principal, somebody who can support you in this role. There are people in the school board that are there to support you. So don't go in there thinking you have to do it all by yourself. You don't have to. And it's not going to be a judgment on how good you are as a teacher or if you can manage or any of that. Just ask for help and experience a better parent-teacher interview, knowing you have someone there and you can just say to the parent, I'm a new teacher. And so I just want feedback on how I'm doing this so that I can learn and be better for the next parent-teacher interviews. Ta-da! What are they going to say? No? And then, you can take the next day off, you guys. Honestly, that's going to be your carrot. At the end of this, you can just make sure you book yourself a massage or a spa day or a movie night, whatever it is that you want to do. Buy yourself a meal cooked. You don't have to cook it. Just take care of yourselves, people. Take care of yourselves. You deserve it. Okay, so boundaries. Gotta talk about boundaries in case the parent happens to be that one parent who is operating on a level 2 energy. So they're going to be a little angry and it's going to be, I'm right, you're wrong, except the parent is going to think he's right and we're going to be wrong. So that's where they're operating from. So that's useful to know. The parent is angry, you're like, okay, he's angry. Don't take anything personally. Obviously, everyone has their lives. And you can do some compassion work inside of your mind and think, yeah, and you can just say to that parent, yeah, I can see that you're angry. And it makes sense because you care so much and your child is not performing as well as you would like him to. So it makes perfect sense that you're really angry. However, and this is the second part, this conversation will happen at a later date. And I will set up an appointment with the principal and we'll finish that conversation then. Because no conversation should ever happen when people are angry. That's counterproductive. And this is true for married couples, parents with their children, and certainly parent-teacher interviews. So if there's too much anger in there, it doesn't matter how much acknowledging and validating you're going to do, step away from the fire. That's not your issue. You protect yourself. And this is you go back to a level 1 protection, ask for help. Yeah. So there you go. How to raise your energy level before of a parent. So the parent, of course, is a little intimidated because we're the professionals, we're the teachers. So just acknowledge and validate them. Thank you for coming. Smile, people. A smile goes a long way. And I'm here to support you, and I'm here to support your son or daughter. And this is what I do. This is what I do for him, for her. This is what I've done. And stick to the facts. Stay away from judgment. I'm available at lunch. I've invited him to come. He didn't. And that's okay. Next time, hopefully he can come, right? And so stick to the facts because there's no emotions in facts. It's just facts. The fear, exploring and releasing it. So releasing your fear. Fear comes from a place where we anticipate a bad outcome for something that is going to happen in the future. So we are placing a lot of energy, heavy energy, and it's unpleasant energy, and something that we think might happen, but of course there's no way to predict the future. So inviting to release that energy. How do you do that? Again, you step away from the fire, you go for a walk, put some oxygen in your brain, and release the fact that you don't have control over the outcome. But when we fear, we also fear that we're being judged and that we're not good enough. And that's going to come and trigger us, right? So again, go back to all the facts, all the things that you have done, all the communication you've done with parents to show that you have done your job and you do your job. And you're not perfect, nope. But I can promise you that you have done a humongous amount of amazing things. Nobody's perfect. That parent's not perfect. The kid is not perfect. I really don't think people should expect us to be perfect. We're doing our job. We damn right we are, people. So that was a little bit of level 2 anger right now. Damn right we are. So releasing that fear and trusting that you have done pretty much everything in your power except give up your right kidney or slept at school instead of going home, you were working all night. Like those things are not acceptable solutions because you will burn out, just like I did, and it's unhealthy, and you're not going to enjoy life, and you're certainly not going to enjoy teaching anymore. So yeah, there you have it. Empowering students, freeing teachers. So these are strategies that you can use for as you're going through the interview. Okay, especially if the student is there, then you can ask him clarifying questions. You talk to him and you let him or her give you the answers back. So how, what is going well in French class for you? And you let them speak. What do you think? What would you like to be able to improve? And you let them speak, and you acknowledge and you validate it. And then on a scale of 1, not at all, I'd rather go to the dentist, to 10, super important, my life depends on it. How important is this class for you? And then the parent can hear 5, 6, 10. So you're telling me that this class is really, really important to you, but I'm noticing that there isn't much effort. What would it take to bring it up to more effort, right? So you use those questions and you gear it back to the kid. If he's there, that's ideal, honestly, because they're the ones who know what's happening in their heads. And, what do you need? And then after that, you can certainly use a good old aim smart, which is basically a very precise objective. And when you're going to do it, is it realistic? And all those like really specific details. So when are you going to do it? Where will you be? What do you need to work? And when will it be done by? And then you can have a follow through with those things. For sure, there should be an action step at the end of this parent-teacher interview, whether it's just like, yay, thank you for coming, love you, you're the best, and everybody loves that. But even if it's something super small, like, put the phone away in a different bedroom so that you can sleep, because kids are sleep deprived and somehow expected to function on all cylinders. That's the one that boggles me the most, is how can I help my child? Well, maybe if they could sleep a little more, that would really help me out personally. So it could be something as simple as that, or just reading 20 minutes before bed. An action plan. Definitely have an action plan before that parent leaves. And yeah. So the aim smart, oh, there it is. I just talked about that. So there we go. And as a conclusion, I would just like to say, you guys, that you are about to go and do those fantastic parent-teacher interviews. Just remember to breathe. Just remember to love yourselves. You are doing so much. And if nobody else tells you, I'm going to tell you that I think you're amazing, that you're working so hard. I actually think you're working too hard, as a matter of fact. And I want you to enjoy life a little bit more. I'm not anticipating that you're going to love doing parent-teacher interviews, but you'll be just fine. I'm going to champion you in saying that you're going to do great. I'm going to support you and love you. And yeah. So anyways, you guys, I hope those next parent-teacher interviews go well. Don't put up with a level 2 angry parent. Send them away and have another set with them, and know that you have done so much for their kid, and know that people appreciate you. And most parents do appreciate you. Your colleagues appreciate you. I appreciate you. You're truly heroic. So you got this. All right. Until next time, take care. Bye.